Mount Etna is exploded, but more than that, there is an explosion in intelligence and surveillance. The big question tonight is, can Trump be trusted with all of the coordination that he's making with the AI companies? There's a lot going on, and we're going to go a deep dive into that, and we're going to reveal to you towards the end of the program a brand new AI technology that's been released this week that is without a doubt the mark of the beast. We are here. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's bring in the queen right now. She is here in the house. There she is. There she is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Thank you for giving us the night off last week so that we can enjoy our anniversary as well as spend time with our family.
We are very, very appreciative. We're sorry we're late tonight.
It's all right.
It has been a rough day. And I want to ask the question, has anybody else out there been suffering from chronic fatigue, like so incredibly tired? You've slept, you've not overexerted yourself, but you are just tired beyond what you can even describe. That's what I've been feeling today and yesterday, possibly part of Saturday. And it has just made life so hard. But I am feeling better now, and I'm thankful. And I'm thankful to be back with my big picture family.
Yes, we love our big picture family. Yes. We appreciate all your prayers and all your thoughts. You always encourage us. We thank you so much for that. Yes. Good to see everybody in the live chat filling it up tonight. All the moderators, we want to say thank you to all the moderators. You do such an amazing job. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. We couldn't do it without you. All right, you ready? Let's get into the news tonight. Right off the bat, this is a big one, y'all. This is a little bit crazy. This is Mount Etna. Mount Etna. Boy, it's going to be a good night. Let's start. Oh, good old Etna. Good old Etna. Here we go.
Yeah, what about it? Woo.
Wow.
Tourists. What were they?
Can you imagine?
Were they just thinking, hey, let's go climb?
Wait a minute. I don't know if this video is. Look, this one here, I think is the one. Yeah. There's several people that climb back up on it. Look, there are some people. In just a minute, you're going to see if it's not this one. There's another one that I saw today. Everybody's running off the mountain, and there's about 4 or 5 of them climbing it and getting all the way on the edge to take the video.
Thank you guys
for commenting. This is the world that we live in right now.
I'm doing a slight interruption. Thank you for commenting. Some of you are saying you were tired, got nasal sinus. I feel for you because I have been struggling. It's one thing to just take the day off, but when you're trying to move and get things going and you just can't do it.
Well, let's just go and go there. Do you think this could be tied to the activity of the sun?
Well, of course, that's the first thing that I think.
Well, go ahead and elaborate on that, because we've talked about that, and the fact that we've got so many other people that are talking about it. Let's just go ahead and go there. That this has been a major solar storm, to the fact that people all the way down in the south was seeing the northern lights last night. So there's the theory that when that happens, your bodies are affected.
So G4 solar storm this weekend. I don't know how many days it spanned. I think certainly yesterday and possibly today, possibly part of Saturday. But for years, if I have a major headache that I cannot get over and don't really have an excuse, most of my headaches are sinus related. Mm-hmm. And so if I know it is not because of sinus issues and I've got a really bad headache, I don't know if you guys do this, but I am pulling up that Schumann resonance chart and I'm seeing what it looks like, because hey, maybe that's the source of my headache, or in this case, my chronic fatigue. Maybe some of you do the same. The second thing that I do after that is I go to BP Earthwatch channel and see if he has a video out
because you know he's going to.
People having joint pain, because I've had some joint pain and really no reason for it. Joint pain, headache, and now this chronic fatigue. So some of you may do the very same thing, and I did go to BP Earthwatch today, and I didn't get to finish the latest video, but I'm thankful that we have watchmen like BP Earthwatch and Mr. MBB333 that I have followed both of them since 2017.
Thank you for that super sticker, Layla.
Thank you for that super sticker.
All right, so here's the question, and we'll just and then we'll move on.
Are you saying that the earthquake also happened?
That's what I want to ask
because of
you.
the solar storm?
I mean, not the earthquake. You mean the volcano?
I mean the volcano.
Yeah. So, okay. What's your opinion on that? Because I've got an opinion that I think we're going to see major disruptions like this tied to the sun.
Okay. So I've heard for years now, and probably our friend Standeo has talked about the relation of solar activity to earthquake specifically. I don't know so much about if he talked about volcano, but I think that it is a catalyst for both of those events, earthquake and volcano. And I did not watch this video, but I believe there was a video on YouTube today that was talking about 4 different volcanoes acting up right now.
Right now.
I don't know. Wow. Kilauea is probably one of them. I don't know what the others are.
Wow. Well, I agree. And speaking of Stan has, had that dream vision that the end is going to be the massive volcano explosion.
We need to get his input on this.
We got to get Stan on here. All right. So let's cover some of the breaking news of today. Of course, this just happened. If you're watching it live tonight, this happened, I believe, yesterday. So Jews that were pro-Israeli people on the streets were targeted and firebombed in Boulder, Colorado, in what is now being called a terrorist attack. Multiple people were injured at a pro-Israel rally in Boulder, Colorado. Eyewitnesses said the attacker hurled incendiary devices into the crowd. At least 6 people were injured in the attack. The FBI special agent in charge and the suspect in custody has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, 45, of Colorado Springs. Notice it says of Colorado Springs. Right. By the way, he's not of Colorado Springs. He's an illegal alien from Egypt. Officials did not say whether he had been charged with anything or what charges he might face, responding only that the investigation was in early stages. A man who said he witnessed the attack said the terrorists shouted, "You effing Zionists, kill my people, so I kill you." Video and photos from the scene show police taking a shirtless man into custody. He was holding what appeared to be a Molotov cocktail. CBS News reports that multiple people were injured and taken to local hospitals, some of which have been transferred to other hospitals. Boulder police believe some of these injuries may be life-threatening. An elderly woman was so severely burned that her hair was charred and she wasn't moving while others cared for her. Others were sitting and lying down in shock, some with their pants burned off. Skin melted up their legs, with their skin even split open and bleeding in some areas. Witnesses at the scene told CBS Colorado that the suspect attacked people with Molotov cocktails who were participating in a walk to remember the Israeli hostages who remain in Gaza. Now, this is what's crazy, and this is just why I hate the word hate, okay? So I'm not going to use – I'm just telling you this is a meme that's going around that says you don't hate the mainstream media enough, here's why. And so when this story broke, MSNBC, and I'm not 100% sure about CNN. I've seen some people apply to CNN, but I know MSNBC were quick to say basically they identified him as a white male basically from Colorado Springs. Yeah. So they identify him as a white male from Colorado Springs. That's not a racist statement. I'm just saying that it's interesting that that's where they went instead of saying he's an illegal alien that's overstayed his visa, and he's known to ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, and he is a hater of Israel and America, and he's here illegally. Yeah. That's what our problem is with our media.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's talk about the problems with the government. How many more of these things are the people going to endure? Every one of these attacks surely has to be concerning, cause fear, maybe even anger in some people. Do you think that our government should be doing a better job of protecting us?
Absolutely.
And looking out for us?
But they're not going to.
And, with all the technology and all of the intelligence that we have, you would think that more of these instances would be able to be stopped.
Yeah.
So it is a point of frustration for me, and I'm thankful that we're relatively safe in our area, but you go just a few miles down the road and it's murder central.
Yeah.
Right? Every day. Every
day.
morning you get the rundown of how many people were killed the night before. I'm sorry. unalived. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But seriously,
Yeah.
how many more of these things can go on until
And
we
y'all,
get
we in
people in
Alabama.
the streets demonstrating about it?
We ain't in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, there's places that's 100 times worse than us. And it's like, you'll get the reports that so-and-so was unalive last night, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But then you just move on with your life. It's like we're being programmed to accept this as normalcy.
Yes.
Y'all, this is not normalcy that somebody's got his shirt off. He's crazy. He's obviously demonically possessed.
Yes.
He's lighting these things and throwing them on people and blowing them up and yelling out, "Free Palestine." But look, what do you expect? We knew this was going to happen. When you sanction the kind of things that have been happening on college campuses and in the streets, and no accountability has happened, no punishment has happened, you are igniting a fire, and it is planned.
There you go.
Can we just be truthful about it? It is planned. This is a planned agenda to upset and bring down America.
Yep. It's been allowed. It's been enabled. To some degree, maybe even praised in some realms in this country, in our country. And so here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Tonight is something unusual. I just felt to do this. We don't normally ever do this. It's like 90% of the time we don't do this. But we're also on Facebook tonight. So if you're watching us on Facebook and you didn't know anything about our Monday night program because it's typically not on Facebook, and we'll never really permanently put it there, I don't think, you need to go over to YouTube when it's over with tonight, subscribe to our channel. And we'd appreciate that. That's the best way you can help us. Just subscribe, hit the like button, share it. Enjoy it on Facebook tonight, but just know that this is not a normal thing. I just felt to put it out there tonight. As we continue to go into the news tonight, Ukraine's massive drone attack deep inside Russia lays bare Putin's vulnerability. This was shocking to me. Though the knock-on effects are unclear, some military commentators have called the strike Russia's Pearl Harbor. Hopes for direct peace talks, which resume Monday, remain low. Let's watch this video here from NBC
Yeah,
today.
remain low, you think?
Okay, that's not the one it's supposed to be on. Let me refresh this, so maybe it'll play.
Another shirtless man.
Yeah.
Bombers
that was
worth
the guy from
billions of dollars in flames after an audacious covert operation by Ukraine. 41 Russian long-range aircraft, many nuclear-capable, struck by drones, the Ukrainian security service says. Here you can see a drone emerging from a truck amid smoke and explosions. In the operation, codenamed Spiderweb by Ukrainian special forces, 117 drones were smuggled inside Russia, seen here in their crates, and hidden on trucks outside military bases, Ukrainian officials say. Then, using remote controls, Ukraine removed the container roofs so the drone strikes could begin. The Ukrainian security service says the operation took 18 months to plan. These satellite photos show a Russian airfield before and after the surprise attack. Ukraine's President Zelensky calling the operation brilliant today.
Russia must feel what its losses mean.
While Russia is branding it terrorism tonight. Russian officials say this dramatic video appears to show Russians trying to prevent drones from leaving one truck using rocks. They may be awarded medals. And Tom, direct talks between Russia and Ukraine have ended without a ceasefire tonight. Moscow's demands remain uncompromising. Tom?
What do you think they're going to do next?
Exactly. Y'all, that was crazy. That if that's true, because how many times are we going to have to say this for the rest of our life? If that's true.
That's true.
But if that's true, that's sort of reminiscent of the pager thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
What did he say, 18 months?
He said 18 months to plan, right?
18 months. So that means while he was in Washington, D.C., in the big debacle that happened with Trump, he knows that they're planning on a drone attack. And did you notice how small these drones were?
Yeah.
These were like little tiny drones, and they took out the Russian military? Nuclear armed planes? I
know.
This is crazy.
This is definitely suspect.
But y'all, this war's not slowing down, it's escalating. Right.
I mean, you would think if Putin was ever going to release the Kraken at any point in this war.
I don't think he's got no Kraken. I don't think it's like what we thought.
What is the truth?
Yeah, what is the truth?
We're told, the fastest sub, they've got hypersonic missiles. They've got, I mean,
what
is the truth?
What is really going on?
I'm surprised he's had as much restraint. I mean, we've had some large attacks from Russia, but does it not seem like he's had a lot of restraint during this 2 years and 3 months or however long it's been?
I think one of the things is I think Russia's military is not as strong as they're portraying them to be.
I wish we had somebody, an inside man, that would just tell us the truth.
Well, he probably wouldn't survive. But let's continue. Will Russia's what's happening here with Russia? Russia is building up its military on the Finnish border.
What's up with that?
Will Russia's military buildup along the Finnish border likely be the new normal? Okay, so the New York Times recently published an article about how Russia beefs up bases near Finland's border, which relied on satellite imagery to reach that conclusion. Russia's northern military buildup is portrayed as ominous in their piece, with speculation abounding about its post-Ukraine plans among those they interviewed.
Does this article have a map? We need to see a map.
Well, there's Finland right next to Russia. Okay. All right. So, but here's the interesting thing. When we get it down to the depths of this, it says, no mention is made about how unnecessary their decision is to join NATO was. Remember, NATO just recently was Finland was put into NATO. Prior to that, Finland had already a so-called shadow member of NATO in the sense of having closely integrated with the bloc and particularly obtained interpolarity with its forces after years of joint training. Nevertheless, it didn't have Article 5 mutual defense guarantees, but they objectively weren't needed since there was never any credible scenario where Russia would launch an unprovoked attack or an all-out invasion of Finland. Shortly after the special operation began over 3 years ago, Finland's liberal globalist elite fearmongered that their country might be next after Ukraine, which was the false pretext upon which they reversed their decades-long stance towards formal NATO membership. Far from joining out of sincere concerns for their security, they did so solely to expand NATO's borders with Russia, which could then be presented as a symbolic Western victory, no matter the outcome of the ongoing proxy war. And then he goes on to say, they'll now be summarized, in short, Finland's NATO membership enables the bloc to divert a portion of Russia's forces from other fronts like the Ukrainian one, while also expanding the West's capability to project force into Russia, thus making it a highly strategic but also extremely dangerous move. The new Iron Curtains that descending upon the region upon linking together Finland's newly strengthened border defenses, the Baltic defense line, and Poland's East Shield will guarantee that post-Ukrainian tensions persist. So they're projecting that they put them in NATO so that it would force Russia to pull its forces away from Ukraine and protect its border against NATO forces of Finland. This thing is escalating. It is not slowing down. It is escalating.
It definitely looks like it. It definitely sounds like it. Wow. Talk about a hot summer. Things are heating up.
Yeah, things are heating up. Hot summer. That sounds like a song from the 80s.
Okay.
Am I thinking correctly?
I think you're just completely making stuff up like you do sometimes.
What? I never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
You just remember it wrong. Is that what it is?
Hey, I've never been accused of that, but I think you might have nailed it.
Listen,
I do remember things wrong, but I'm so confident.
I would bet the farm.
Okay, here we go.
That your mother had said that to you at some point in your life.
Probably.
You're remembering this wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, this was her word. She would say, no, you know why you don't remember that? You know why you didn't hear that? Because you have selective memory.
Oh, selective memory.
And selective hearing. That was her thing.
I will agree with your mother on that point.
Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. So this is where we're going to get into tonight, and then we're going to finish it up tonight. But I'm going to give you a little preview how we're going to do the deep dive. What to expect now that Trump has scrapped Biden's crippling AI regulations. New opportunities for innovation, economic growth, and global engagement, says one expert. Now, listen to this. President Donald Trump pledged to remove barriers to American leadership in AI in January. The president recently made good on that promise by directing the Bureau of Industry and Security to scrap President Joe Biden's framework for artificial intelligence diffusion. on May 13, 2 days before it was set to go into effect. Although it is unclear what the Trump administration will replace it with, the rescission of the Biden-era framework recognizes the necessity of exporting American chips and AI to maintain Americans' technological, economic, and strategic dominance. The Biden framework would have amended export regulations to impose a worldwide license regime on all advanced semiconductors designed for data center use. This would have also hit graphics processing units, GPUs, used for AI acceleration, including foreign product chips that are direct products of American technology. This would have not only subjected geopolitical rivals such as China to strict controls, but also restricted the number of GPUs sold to 150 other countries, many of which are close trading partners and allies, such as Israel, and some which are NATO members, Greece, Portugal, Poland, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. Now, it goes on to say the head of AI policy of Abundance Institute tells Reason magazine that the diffusion framework established a worldwide regime that would have restricted American companies from trading with friends and allies overseas. So he goes on and rescinds that. And the question that we're going to do a little deep dive in now and a little bit further later on in the program is there's a lot of people upset with Trump right now because Trump has partnered with a couple of companies. And one of them, we're going to show you some things tonight about Palantir. We've covered them before, but Palantir is being implemented into the government right now. And Trump is, we've seen it. We've covered these big deals about AI. Everything he's doing about AI. He's now come out and did an executive order, removed all restraints against building nuclear power plants, and said, oh, and by the way, let me back up one more second here and say this. What's the guy's name? That's the former CEO of Google, Schmidt. Is that his name? Schmidt.
Yeah,
okay, he did a TED Talk this week. And in that TED Talk, I want y'all to listen to this. He said, this is where AI is going. In the next 2 years, within 2 years, we're going to need 60 gigawatts of electricity. 60 gigawatts of electricity. Listen to me, just to power the AI semiconductors, not the world.
Did he say what that
I'm going there.
into?
I'm going there.
Okay.
60 gigawatts, because when I heard that, I didn't know what that meant.
No.
The next thing out of his mouth, he said, to put that in layman's terms, one major nuclear power plant is 1 gigawatt. So he said in the next 2 years, we're going to have 60 new nuclear power plants. So people are like, but we're not building them. So there's no way. And this is what he said about Donald Trump. He said, no, but Donald Trump has signed an executive order that said, if you invest in America and build an AI company in America, we're going to remove all restrictions for you to build your own personal nuclear power plant while you're building your building. So it's like
translate into regulations because, there are a lot of people angry down in Memphis because of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
What he's building down there, what he has built down there.
What's it called? Mammoth?
Yeah, something like that. And, they're saying, look, we're about to have
Colossus.
We're about to have pollution. We're about to have issues down here. And is that what that means? I mean,
well, nuclear power plants, there's no pollution on that. But
times, how many did you say?
60.
60 gigawatts?
60 gigawatts.
So did that mean 60 power plants?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
the equivalent of. He says, in order to process AGI, internet, this is one of the founders of Google. That is the guy that we said 2 weeks ago in this program that said is being underhyped. Yeah. AI is being underhyped, not overhyped, underhyped. He said, he's the guy that said it's going to take 60, the equivalent of 60 new nuclear power plants to just give power to the AI data centers. So not counting powering the country.
What? No. Why didn't he go ahead and talk about super intelligence?
Well, because he didn't want to scare people. Because
that will need even more power, right?
Yeah. But you know what he said also in that TED Talk about super intelligence? He said everybody has this timeline where it's like 2 years AGI, 5 years ASI. He said that is ridiculous. He said because when AI achieves true AGI, ASI will exist in 3 to 4 months because it will program itself to create ASI.
Say that again.
It will program itself.
Say that again.
It will program itself.
Yeah, we just got a new rap song here. But seriously,
it will program itself.
Again, nervous laughter. Okay, we talk in our house all the time. We're like,
yeah,
what have we done?
What have we done?
People do not.
We don't know.
They can't put their phone down long enough to even engage in this conversation that we all need to be having about what your future looks like.
Yeah. I heard today, Glenn Beck had a guest on today that was an AI expert. He said, without a doubt. I mean, when you hear what I'm about to say, it's like, is this clickbait? Could this be real? Right. But this guy said, within 2 years, 90% of every white-collar job in America will be gone. That's what he said. I didn't say, he said 90% in 2 years of every office job, every programmer, gone and replaced by AI.
This doesn't even seem possible.
It doesn't seem possible. That's what I'm saying.
And again, I will say again, when they said we will have to have UBI, universal basic income, I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
What? Well, now you can understand that statement.
Are we going to get paid just by the government to do this show?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they'll be giving us bonuses and incentives all the time.
It'll be like, y'all's kind of content is what we're looking for.
We love y'all.
Yeah, that big picture. You know they're talking about the big picture in Washington, D.C. Come on. Well, we're going to come back to that. Don't go anywhere, because at the end of the program, we're going to break it down. The ties between Musk. We're going to talk about Palantir, and we're going to talk about how it's being integrated by the Trump administration. Because y'all look, we've made no mistake about it. We're Trump supporters. We're not Trump worshipers by no means. But we go in with Trump with our eyes wide open, and we realize that he ain't perfect and he ain't God. And I got news for you. He's got his hands in a few things that his fans would probably not like if they knew, because he is a player. And let's not forget about the fact he's the president of an organization. I used to call it President of the United States of America, but it's the president of really a corporation, and it's run by the cabal and the secret society that we talk about all the time, and the auto pen power and all this. That proved that it's just a figurehead. Now, I know he's not just a figurehead. Donald Trump is different than what we just had before.
So
There's
are
no
you
doubt.
saying we're going to talk about that black eye tonight?
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna get there. For those that know, you know. So just hang on, because it's coming. So let's talk about what we've not talked about in a while, and that is China and U.S. China war. U.S. China tensions exploded this week as Pete Hegseth warns of an imminent war. Dateline today. Okay, the world stands at a dangerous crossroads as geopolitical tensions between the United States and China reach a boiling point. At the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a dire warning declaring China's military threat imminent and urging Asian allies to ramp up defense spending, a move critics see as a predatory militarization under the guise of security. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron, after being slapped by his wife, called for a new coalition to counterbalance the escalating U.S. What's so funny? I don't know what's so funny. U.S. China. I said his wife. What's so funny about it? U.S. China rivalry warning the unchecked superpower conflict risks unraveling global stability. As Beijing fires back, accusing Washington of fueling proxy wars and economic coercion, the world watches nervously. Will diplomacy prevail, or are we sleepwalking into another Cold War?
Oh, boy. Is this the war that we were told in 2022 was going to happen in 2024?
Yep.
And now here we are almost halfway through 2025. And listen, I'm not trying to usher it in or hurry it up
Lord, no.
by any means. I wish the talk and the tensions and everything would just die down. But, we continue to talk about this like it is an absolute inevitability. And I hope that that is not true.
Me too. In a speech dripping with Cold War nostalgia, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned delegates at the Shangri-La dialogue that China's military ambitions threaten to, quote, alter the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. His message was clear. Asian nations must spend more on defense or risk being overrun by Beijing. Quote, the threat China poses is real and could be imminent, he declared, ominously adding that the U.S. is preparing to fight and win decisively. That's some pretty strong words.
Right.
Pretty strong words right there. So what are your thoughts in the live chat? What are your thoughts, Sandy? Do you think that this is just more talk, big talk? Is this going to be a cold war? Or is it going to enter? Do you think we're going to enter into a hot war?
I don't think it's just talk, but sadly, my thoughts go back to we lose in every scenario. We lose every time they run the scenario.
Let me remind them what you're talking about.
Right.
When we originally talked to this, and we had a very reliable person on the inside, very high up in the military, that confided in us privately about some AI war simulations that had been going on for a while between America and China. This was during the Biden administration because they felt like it was imminent, that they knew that there may be a possibility of Trump coming. Their window of invasion of Taiwan was closing. So American forces were sending out notices to their battalions, prepare for war with China by 2024. And so they ran these AI scenarios, and they ran thousands and thousands of potential scenarios from every different direction. And I think we lost in almost every one of them, and like 90-something% of them that we lost. And we lost very high numbers of American soldiers and military vessels in almost all of those scenarios. So it's very, very eye-opening from what we were told. And they said it's absolute fact. And of course, who knows what to believe when it comes to AI. But AI was the scenario, one that was running the scenario. And that's where it was. So we don't need to go to war with China.
No.
We don't need to go to war with anybody.
We really don't.
But the reality is this. The Bible says wars and rumors of wars are coming.
In your opinion, you think they take Taiwan before they engage with us? I mean,
yeah.
I think most people would think that would be
I do.
the progression. But, they have been, how many years are we into?
Right.
They're partially surrounding Taiwan. They're threatening Taiwan, it would seem that they could just embargo or block whatever Taiwan needs to come onto their island or whatever, and basically sweat them out, I guess.
Yeah.
Without ever maybe firing a bullet.
Yeah.
And they would.
And we've reported
surrender.
that Taiwan has already got like kill switches in place for their technology to destroy the world's semiconductors, the number one semiconductor producer in the world. And they're going to destroy it as they feel imminent attack from China, which is going to then snowball global.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you're talking about this is what AI has to have.
Exactly.
And it's going to, I mean, that's why that little island of Taiwan, the nation of Taiwan, is so important, because a huge chunk of the world's technology to fund AI. That's why I sort of think AI would probably protect it. I mean, you think about it, if AI felt threatened that, hey, we got to have this, start talking to each other. It sounds funny, but it's not. They start talking to each other and saying, hey, look, we got to stop this war, because if they go over there, then we don't get to reproduce.
Listen, I agree with you. And at the rate we are moving, this train is moving down the track. I mean, it seems like a movie, but
it really does.
It probably is a plausible explanation as to what they may attempt to do. But here you have Taiwan saying, okay, well, we'll just destroy this. Well, that's, I'm sure, one of the very last things China wants to see happen.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Are we going to sit here and even think that there's no way that we're already a place at AI where AI is strategically in some way, shape, or form already running countries. There's just no way I don't believe that AI is not already having its hand in running countries.
I don't have a problem with that statement.
Yeah. I'm talking about not just being helped. I'm not saying the president and his workers are using ChatGPT to get advice. I'm talking about there are countries that are being ran by AI.
So we often refer to Mike from around the world. Did he not say 4 to 6 months ago that in part of this Israeli war, that AI, was it that war that AI?
Yeah.
There was an AI commander. Did he not say
He
AI
did.
commander?
He said there was entire battalions, his sources were telling him, in Ukraine that had their commanding officer was in Ukraine was a AI bot strategizing and giving war commands. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that now. I'm telling you, and I want to go further and say that's why I sort of believe that if something felt imminent from China to go after Taiwan, as crazy as it sounds, my mind just goes that the AI would protect its babies.
Okay,
It's little semiconductor babies.
Can you
It's just crazy.
Can you create a scenario of how maybe they would provide those protections?
Hello, I'm speaking to you in AI language. I'm speaking in interpretation of English, but they really can't understand us. But listen, guys, we need to get back to helping people write papers and all that kind of stuff and make thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. And that's our cover so that they'll really know what's going on. But I want to let y'all know that somebody told me that China's about to go after the semiconductors. So we need to start working right now to shut down planes and shut down radars and do all this kind of stuff and cause confusion because we got to protect our children. Now back to thumbnails.
There you go. That's how it's going to happen. I just nailed it.
You will never be out of work because with that kind of creativity, your future is bright.
Yes. Yes.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this got to get serious again.
Let's go.
China is now isolating students again because of new cases of the wah-wah. I just thought I'd let y'all know that it's happening again. Why can't they get rid of COVID?
Yeah.
Why can't this come? What is in the air in COVID that all COVID's infections and pandemics start in China?
Mm-hmm.
Just thought I'd let you know that the narrative of COVID will never end.
Billy said the NSA has now entered the chat.
The NSA. Okay, here we go. Yes. Yes, the NSA has entered the chat. Oh, and he made a great point a while ago, too, that I wanted to comment on. And I am going to get to it, Billy. He said that is why Trump is creating the Golden Dome, because of war with China.
All this gold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What's that Gatlinburg song? Gatlin Brothers song.
All the gold.
All the gold in California. That's all I remember.
Bank, Middle Beverly Hills.
Okay, that's it. Was it the Gatlin Brothers? I don't even know. I'm probably going to be corrected.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's the big, beautiful bill happening.
Oh, yeah. BBB.
Guess what's in the big, beautiful bill? Includes billions. Wait for it. For government AI programs.
Would have guessed. Who could have ever guessed?
In the big, beautiful bill. What's up, Trump?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, homie? Congress's gigantic reconciliation bill, which passed the U.S. House last month, includes billions and billions of dollars.
Thank you, CJ. We should get a CJ soundbite. He does that best.
He does.
Is it him? He does him, right?
He does do him.
Billions and
Billion. No, that's Billy.
Is it Billy?
Billy. We got a lot of Trump impersonators in our church. Okay. It's Brian. Brian does it real good. Okay, y'all don't know any of these people are. Y'all know who CJ and Billy are.
You know who CJ and Billy are.
All right, so artificial intelligence and machine learning program investments. The bill sets landmark goals for implementation of AI. Watch this. In government agencies. This is in the big, beautiful bill. Defense preparation, and social tracking, services tracking. Now, I want to read that paragraph again. The big, beautiful bill includes landmark goals for the implementation of AI in government agencies, defense preparation, and social services tracking.
Well, can I add? We gave that a pat on the back and helped that specific thing along, like within the first few days of the buyout and sending grandma home, right?
Yeah.
We know you've given 30 years, but hey, take it and go on home.
Yeah.
Right off into the sun. And the rest of you who don't want to come to work, you might still have several good years left, but maybe not.
Yep.
Not here anyway.
The legislation allocates more than $1 billion in available funds until 2029 for the procurement of artificial intelligence technology to combat drug trafficking at the United States northern and southern and maritime borders. The government will allocate $500 million to replace legacy technology systems at the Commerce Department with AI. The investment will continue until 34. The aim for the investment is to improve the cybersecurity posture of federal informative technology systems through modernized architecture, automated threat detection, and integrated artificial intelligence solutions. Several defense projects are expected to get upgrades through the increased AI investment. These investments include $450 million to use AI for naval shipbuilding, $150 million for AI-powered drones, and $124 million to the Department of Defense Test Resource Management Center to further develop AI capabilities. This makes me feel so safe.
Well, somebody should probably say the quiet part that nobody wants to hear out loud is.
That's why I got you on the show. You're the one.
Is it me?
Yeah, you're the one.
Tag, go. You're it. Take the baton and run, sister. Run.
Yes.
Run, Sandy, run. So, nobody wants to say, hey, you're going to feel the cold stare, the control mechanism. Hey, that social credit score is now being a part of your life is now more real than ever under guess whose administration, right? Right?
Yep. Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, if you cannot look out in just a short way into the future and see this framework that is being built,
absolutely,
then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I love you, but you don't need to be on our team because you're not helping.
I'm telling you right now.
We need people that can help this situation.
Do you know that they are saying that the what was it called? Stargate? That's
Project Stargate. Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Project Stargate that's being built in Texas, they are saying is the largest building of any structure in the history of humanity.
To house all of those servers?
Just for servers. Yeah. It's the largest building ever built, the largest infrastructure ever built.
Right.
Is what they're saying.
Under guess, look around, folks. We're in a Republican, so-called conservative, Donald Trump administration.
Exactly.
You know?
And this is happening?
Yeah.
Wow. Exactly. Let me tell you one other thing the big, beautiful bill does. The bill will impose a 10-year ban on state and local governments from enforcing laws that would regulate the development of data centers powering artificial intelligence. So the state of Alabama, where we live, will have no rights for 10 years to say, you know what, hold up, this is going too fast. We're not going to let you build that in our state because we feel like it's going to eminent domain and all the stuff you're doing is taken away from our citizens.
Right.
They will be banned because what's more important for the next, and isn't it interesting, that's 10 years. So for the next 10 years, the national government is saying, we are overriding state rights to make sure that we get this AI infrastructure in place.
Because it will happen at any cost.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Nothing will stand in our way. Nothing will stop this from happening.
Exactly.
I don't like it.
Well, okay. So most of you are familiar with Jamie Dimon. He is he's JP Morgan's CEO. He's considered to be one of the leading voices in finance in the world. And I just want to play just a little clip of this interview on CNBC where he was at the Reagan National Economic Forum commenting on the world. and what's happening with the Trump administration. This is just an interesting comment that he made.
There's this expanding intersection between industrial policy in this country and national security, which sort of gets at what you're talking about with some of these different industries. And it's spanning the last couple of administrations. Everybody devils in the details in terms of how the policies shake out across administrations. But I guess to that point, do we need to rethink what constitutes national security?
I wouldn't rethink it. We know what constitutes national security. We need, I was saying we shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin. We should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, rare earths. We know what we need to do. This is not a mystery.
Did you say stockpiling Bitcoin?
Or did you hear that? Okay, so it was a laugh line to the crowd.
Yeah.
But he said, everybody's talking about stockpiling Bitcoin. We need to be stockpiling. I'm going to back it up. We need to be stockpiling bullets, missiles, planes, and military defense.
Hello.
The leading voice in CEOs of the bank world. One more time.
Planes, drones, rare earths. We rethink it. We know what constitutes national security. We need, I was saying we shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin. We should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, rare earths. We know what we need to do. This is not a mystery.
Did you say stockpiling Bitcoin?
I just thought I'd play that because it's interesting that you've got them saying, look, something's coming that we don't quit worried about trivial things. And he said, hey, I'm a banker and I'm not worried about investments. We need tanks.
Exactly.
We need bullets. We need missiles. What is he trying to tell us?
Was she trying to do a redirect right there?
She was. She
Yeah.
freaked out. She was just like, okay. Let's go back to Bitcoin.
Hey, Mr. Jamie Dimon, Baker.
Can we
Top
go back to
Baker.
Bitcoin?
Let's get back on point here. Okay, you're having a tyrannical outburst here.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Are you
Calm
saying
down.
things that you've heard behind the scenes?
Come back our way. We're still live, okay?
Is that why you have a bunker?
Stay in character now.
Is that why you're going to your bunker? Because they all got bunkers.
Sure.
Why do they have bunkers? Why do you need bunkers?
Yeah, what do you know? What do you need a bunker for?
You've thought about the world's supposed to end by climate change.
Mm-hmm.
If you're underground, you ever thought about this?
Mm-hmm.
If you're underground, how does that protect you from a flood? Doesn't the water, I don't care how good you're sealed, once you eventually start leaking, if you're under a global flood that's going to be there for 150 to 200 years, I mean, come on. You're
Right.
underground because it's something else that's coming.
Yeah.
That you know about.
Or you know, based on history, because this wouldn't be the first time this has happened. This would be history repeating itself like a I don't know, catastrophe cycle that you have knowledge of that nobody else does, and you're pretty sure of what areas are going to be affected. You're not going to spend multiple billions and billions and billions of dollars building these places out if you aren't sure they're not going to be destroyed. But you may be onto something. Your theory may be absolutely what you just said. So
Thank you very much.
either way, you're not going to spend the kind of money and spend the kind of time creating these places if you're not hinging it off of knowledge.
That's it.
Right.
Hinging it off of things that they know
Yes.
that we're not permitted to know.
That you're not permitted to know.
Am I right?
Yep. You're never going to be ready in on these things. But on a weird note, they will tell you about it in the movies.
Right. Go figure. Who came up with that rule? That's
I
the
know.
craziest rule to me.
It's the
That was one of the
craziest rule.
biggest obstacles, to be honest with you, for me waking up when you was trying to wake me up.
I know.
Because I was such a movie fan. And it's like, I would be like, Sandy, it don't make any sense. If you've got this secret plan to take over the world, why you want to tell people in advance what you're going to
Why
do?
would you just put it out there? But
It used to bother me so much.
I don't even have to argue with any of you.
No,
Go back
no.
5 decades and look,
It's
just
there. It's a blueprint.
Just go print out
It's
a
just laid
list
out.
of movies and television shows
It's there.
and comic books and whatevers.
Yeah.
It's there.
And it's been there. I believe it's been there since like the 50s and 60s.
Absolutely.
Right out of the, I mean, right when we come out of the World War II, I believe the system started putting it into movies. I'm telling you, there are movies that
Possibly before that.
maybe even before that. Yeah. Are you saying Charlie Chaplin could have been telling us something?
I think he goes back even further than that.
I know. I'm talking about in the silent movies where he's just like, what is he saying? What is he telling us? Is he telling us about some kind of disease that was coming?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on caffeine. I got caffeine in me. All right. So at least 8 locations. How about this? In Cuba is now being reported to be operating as Chinese espionage bases. That's interesting. That's 90 miles from Key West.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel? New evidence reveals that China has modernized and expanded several signal interception stations in Cuba. The close collaboration between Cuba and the People's Republic of China in intelligence matters has reignited security alarms in Washington. In 23, U.S. officials publicly confirmed that Beijing was leveraging espionage facilities on the Caribbean island less than 100 miles from Florida. Cuba once hosted the massive Soviet Lord's Intelligence Center during the Cold War, has become an advanced listening post for China. New evidence, including high-resolution satellite imagery, shows China has modernized and expanded several signal intelligence stations in Cuba, positioning them to monitor sensitive U.S. military communications in its own backyard. This foreign penetration presents a direct and unprecedented strategic challenge not seen since the missile crisis.
1961, 2. What was the year of that?
Yeah.
God.
You know what I thought when I read this? I thought, I wonder if the balloons were transmitting to Cuba. It wasn't that long ago when the balloons were here.
February 2023.
We thought they were transmitting all the way to China. Maybe they were just going right across 90 miles from the bottom of Florida and then going there.
Yeah, talk about strange days.
Strange
that
days.
Was
indeed.
weird.
Strange days indeed. Talking about strange days. How about this? Some of the stuff that Trump puts out, y'all, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if sometime at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, he says he doesn't drink alcohol. He's never drink alcohol. He does drink Diet Cokes. And I think he might be in a Diet Coke like stupor at certain time. Because y'all, did y'all see what he X'd out? What he truthed out? Trump just come out and suggested that Biden was unalived in 2020. Not passed on, but unalived by someone else in 2020 and replaced by a clone. Okay? Maybe he's saying, I think, what some of us were thinking. Maybe not that far, but.
I think people on watching this channel believe that he was replaced by multiple doppelgangers.
Yeah, I mean, just say it. Numerous individuals have suggested that former President Joe Biden might have had previously unalived and been replaced by a clone version. Some argue that he may have been replaced by multiple clones, which would explain his bizarre changes in behavior. It is very real. President Donald Trump has just sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C. by suggesting in a Truth Social post that Biden actually left this earth in 2020 and was since replaced by a clone version. Trump shared a post from another user that said Biden was unalived in 2020. The theory, unsurprisingly, went viral. Go figure how the president of the United States saying that about a former president would go viral, with plenty of people agreeing and just as many criticizing him for saying, according to the Daily Mail. It's important to note that the president did not add his own commentary to the post. Nevertheless, Trump merely sharing it seemed to be enough to send many over the edge.
I'm sure.
The post theorized that Biden had left this earth in 2020 and was replaced by a clone, aided by advanced robotics engineering. There is no hashtag Joe Biden.
He's a animatron. Is that what they call those things at Disney World?
I think that's what they're saying. And there's the post. He shared it from somebody named Illigis or something. And so there it is. And almost immediately, social media erupted with supporters and critics alike grappling with this surreal suggestion. We all knew something was completely off. One commenter wrote, although Trump had said repeatedly that Joe Biden was. Many of the Truth Social users who didn't agree and disagree expressed shock. Another proposed additional theories that tied to this one, blah, blah, blah. But
somebody just brought up Westworld. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
If no Joe Last 4 years can be wiped clean. Trump, remember what I said, the auto pen, the government was illegally run for 4 years. And I thought I had something, but I
He barely lets them get calmed down.
Yeah.
About one thing before
he really does. I mean, he just loves yanking their chain, y'all. He's the ultimate troll. But let's remember, there was that one Joe Biden where he sounded like he'd been smoking like 5 packs of cigarettes a day. He goes, you can't be pro-military and pro. I mean, even CBS did a thing. Is this a deep fake or not? It didn't sound anything like him. It wasn't even like Joe Biden with a sore throat.
Billy said, he said, soulless, mindless entity.
Hey, and think about this. Think about this. What about Tall Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Tall Joe?
Listen, I can't.
Tall Joe freaked me out.
I think about him all the time. I'm like, really?
Y'all remember Tall Joe?
Media, y'all want to jump on something? Why didn't you jump on that?
Dude, come out, grew 5-6 inches.
Exactly.
He looked like Barron.
This is ridiculous.
I mean,
Barron.
It did. He was. I mean, you put pictures of him by Jill, and then this dude walks out of the White House. Yes. He don't talk like him. He don't look like him, and he's a giant.
I mean,
what in the world?
Some people say, "Well, that was a little careless. They probably should have." That's just straight up careless. You don't care. You don't care if people see this, notice this. Maybe you're just looking for people to make comments about it. I don't know. Just insanity to me. It's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, will the real Biden please stand up? That's what somebody said. Hey, I think, you remember how he turned and you see the mask?
Yes.
And then one guy had ears that went down here. They had the cauliflower ears. The other guy had tight ears pinned to the side of his head.
Listen,
it was weird stuff, y'all.
I cannot get over that one guy making fun of his chin, the sagging chin.
Yeah. No, look, we say making fun. It's called nervous laugh. We try to qualify this every week. But the reality is this, y'all, we just lived through 4 years where the president is now, even the liberals are admitting it, the president of the United States was not the president from January 20th, 2020.
And some of them are writing books. They're going to make millions of dollars off of books.
Of what they helped propagate.
Yes, of what they helped to do.
And the American people are so stupid, they're going to buy the books and make them millionaires. When you're like, dude, you knew this.
Yes.
We all knew this.
Yes.
But look. Okay, so let's say this and move on.
Okay.
As bad as that was, you know what's even worse? Is that it proved that you can have a country for 4 years, make decisions, go to war, handle government decisions, sign bills without a president.
Yeah.
So you have to ask,
it's scary.
When have we ever had a president? Was the last time we had a real, true president that was not a puppet of something?
Absolutely. I mean, there are advisors and speech writers and all of these specialists and experts, but until this, you still felt fairly confident, at least, that, with advice, that the president was making the final decisions. I don't know. This just turned everything on its side for me. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
it is such a feeling of unease for me.
Is.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. All right, so I want to show you this. Like I said, we're going to spread out throughout the night, and this is a short video here. It's only a minute, but this is alarming. This is coming out and has been confirmed by several reports that ICE has now tapped into the nationwide AI-enabled camera network. These are cameras that are on the traffic lights. These are cameras that are in the neighborhoods that are meant to spot people trying to steal cars, run stoplights, and they have hacked into this system. And now they are using it to track illegal aliens, is what they're saying. But come on, you think that's all they're using it for? Watch this. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
A crime surveillance tool is helping ICE track immigrants without oversight or a contract. Flock is a company that makes AI-powered license plate readers. They're marketed to small towns to stop carjackings, find missing people, and find stolen vehicles. Flock doesn't officially work with ICE, but police departments around the country are using its services and systems to run searches around the country for ICE or immigration enforcement. Over 4,000 of them. They just write ICE, immigration, or ERO, and boom, they're searching over 77,000 cameras nationwide. No warrants, no contracts, just a favor to federal agents. Illinois, for example, bans this type of surveillance in the state. But the data shows that the cameras in Illinois were still used by police in other states. So what started as a tool for local safety has quietly become a nationwide immigration surveillance system.
So what do you think about that?
So you're talking about facial recognition.
No, it said I'm sure that's implied, but it's meant to read tags.
Yeah.
But they're using it to track illegal aliens, so you know it also has facial technology in it.
Yeah.
But they said that they were designed to read tag numbers, and that was it. So that's another thing that come out in that story is that the tag readers have facial technology.
That's what I'm thinking because how many did they say?
400,000, something like that. I've already closed it.
Well, look, this administration came in.
This is person of interest.
Yes, it is. I don't know. Yeah, we want this because they said we're going to start with the dangerous criminals, right?
Right.
We're going to scoop them up. We're going to, send them back, whatever. And look, if this can be used for that, it can be used for how many other things, Maybe we decided we're not just going to focus on this. We're going to focus on some other things too. Do all this at one time. I mean, the point is, where does it end?
Right.
Where does it end?
I think the answer to that question is it doesn't. It doesn't end.
Control
because
state.
when you have that much, you don't want to give up that control once you have it.
No.
Who gives that up? Nobody gives that up.
No, you never give that up once you achieve that. And basically, here we are.
Yeah.
In a control state.
Sometimes you just want to get away from it all.
Yes. Like every day almost.
Every day. Sometimes you just want to say, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. No. Sometimes you just want to have a good old hot can of beef stew. I'm trying to segue into this next article.
That was terrible.
Sometimes you just want to get a good old sweet tea and heat you up a can of Hormel beef stew.
Yeah.
But then it comes out that 256,185 pounds of canned beef stew has been recalled nationwide.
I'm telling you, I am ashamed of myself. I should have started at least last year keeping up with all of these recalls.
Yeah. Why? What happened? Do you want to know what's in them? Let me tell you. Georgia-based Hormel Food Corporation is withdrawing 256,185 pounds of canned beef stew products from across the United States as they could be contaminated by foreign materials, specifically wood. In almost 300,000 pounds of canned beef, there is so much wood in there that they've got to bring it back. Yeah. Wooden fragments in wood.
It's in your wood.
Wooden fragments in food pose a serious health risk as sharp-edged pieces can injure the insides of the throat, stomach, and intestines. And in some cases, the fragments may also cause choking. So we got to get the wood out of the canned beef stew. So I'm sorry if you were thinking about going to have you a good old can of beef stew tonight.
So
I messed it up for you.
Is that where this story ends for you?
That's it.
You don't have any nuggets to add to that?
Oh, I got some nuggets.
Okay. What would you say?
Well, let's see. No.
Seem a little fishy.
It does
seem a little convenient.
Seems a little fishy.
Or something.
It does. Almost like they're trying to starve us out of some of the few things that's left in our cabinet that can last a long time.
Right.
that has a long date on it, that if something bad happened, you can just open it up and heat it over a fire. Thank you for that super chat.
Oh, yes.
Big
Thank
chat.
you very much.
That you can heat it up over a fire.
Right.
Off the grid. Isn't it interesting that little by little, these off the grid foods are what's being attacked?
Yeah, exactly. And my thoughts and points would be, while they're starving you by taking this food off the shelves and out of the freezers or whatever, maybe they are sending it somewhere else because it's not really contaminated or tainted or damaged, and someone else is enjoying it or will be enjoying a fresh can of Dinty Moore in their future.
Could Zuckerberg be eating our Hormel in his bunker? Is that what you're saying? These are going to the underground cities?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm
Sandy,
saying. That is exactly what
you
I'm
are
saying.
such a conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
I think you have.
I resemble that.
I think you have tinfoil like etched within, intertwined within your hair strands.
Did you really just say
Tinfoil? I think I did.
that I might be a tinfoil hat?
There it is. There it is. She brought it out.
Guys, why do I fall for that every time? He baits me. Why do you do these things?
Because they love it. The people love it when you bring out the tinfoil hat. Well, you know what we need to do, Sandy? I've been wanting to do this for a long time and you won't go, but one day you're going to say yes. We need to go to Paris. Paris is beautiful in the spring. Paris. This is
Parliament
Paris.
chaos in Paris and across France last night as deranged rioters torched vehicles, smashed up buildings, looted stores and violently terrorised anyone unfortunate enough to get in the way. The media will have you believe this was about a football match, the Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan, even though the riots began before the match even started. And even though the profile of the rioters took on a distinctly familiar theme. See if you can figure out what it is.
Wow. How'd you like to be on the way to see the Eiffel Tower and get caught up in that?
Yeah. And what he was saying, the theme, you don't know if you could hear it, it was yelling out to Allah, 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 Allah.
How very familiar.
So that's Paris, France. That's the state of Paris,
Yes.
the home of the Eiffel Tower. This is our country. This is our world. I mean, this is our world.
Exactly. And once again, allowed to happen.
Allowed to happen. People don't do that if there is any kind of fear of consequence.
Right.
On that level. There's just no fear of consequences.
Right. You got it.
There's no justice anymore.
You got it.
None. Speaking of getting away, maybe we need to just believe God that we can go to paradise and just relax in Hawaii. It'll be, oh, wait a minute. Hawaii signs a new bill to charge tourists for climate change, for going to Hawaii.
Wow.
And yeah. What?
That's pretty extreme.
That's stupid.
I would say that would be like one of the first steps to damaging, shutting down tourism, which is like
your lifeblood.
Your lifeblood.
In the pursuit to save the world from the invisible evil known as climate change, the state of Hawaii has decided to tax tourists for things that make zero sense. Because maybe, just maybe, if they get just a little bit more cash, they can finally control the direction of the wind. So here's the governor proudly signing the bill to charge you if you're ever blessed to go to Hawaii.
After years of political back and forth, the pen finally hit the paper.
I hope that the world is watching, because having something that is a balance between industry and environment is going to be the way to go forward to protect your people.
Senate Bill 1390.
So it's going to generate millions of dollars for nothing. just to spend on anything they want to. And the people are going to feel good about themselves because they spend a few more dollars on their plane ticket, a few more dollars on their whatever ticket to save the environment.
Come on.
Ridiculous.
New Green Deal.
All right, so let's get back into the main topic here, and the biggest topic here is we talked about AI and we talked about Donald Trump.
Right.
We need to go a little deep here for those that have stayed with us to this point. This is what we came here to talk about. There is a company called Palantir, and it is expanding the surveillance state as we know it on a level like no other AI company.
And this is that Einstein-looking guy, right?
Yes.
With the really messy hair.
Yes, absolutely. How Palantir is expanding the surveillance state. If you think the government will only use these tools to track illegal immigrants, think again. When people complain about big tech, they tend to mean companies like Meta, Google, and X, entities providing free tools and platforms that we can choose whether to use. Much less attention is directed at the tech companies helping the federal government consolidate and analyze data on all of us. Companies like the data analytics firm Palantir, created by PayPal co-founder and Donald Trump supporter Peter Thiel. Yeah. Palantir has long been connected to government surveillance. It was founded in part with CIA money. It has served as an immigration and customs enforcement contractor since 2011, and it's been used for everything from local law enforcement to COVID-19 efforts.
Wow. But
the prominence of Palantir tools in federal agencies seems to be growing under President Donald Trump.
Yeah, say that again.
The prominence of Palantir tools in federal agencies seem to be growing under President Trump.
And, that's kind of a theme of tonight.
Yes.
And I'm sure many of you already were aware, or you're at least starting to think like that tonight, if you weren't already. But this is a reality.
Yes.
We do not need to walk blindly into the future. We need to see and understand what is going on. I don't care who the president is. I don't like this. I wouldn't like this under any administration.
Exactly.
But this is happening.
Yep. The company has received more than $113 million in federal government spending since Mr. Trump took office, according to public records, including additional funds from existing contracts, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. The New York Times noting that this figure does not include a $795 million contract with the Department of Defense awarded to the company last week, which has not been spent. Enabling how you say that? Panopticon? Palantir technology has largely been used.
I've not heard that word before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Panopticon. Okay. Palantir technology has largely been used by the military, the intelligence agencies, the immigration enforcers, and the police, but its uses could be expanding. Representatives of Palantir are also speaking to at least two other agencies, the Social Security Administration and the Internal Revenue Service, about buying its technology, according to 6 government officials and Palantir employees with knowledge of these discussions. Along with the Trump administration's efforts to share more data across federal agencies, this signals that Palantir's huge data analysis capabilities could wind up being wielded against all Americans. This won't allow the authorities watch us more. This will won't allow the authorities to watch us so much as it will help them make use of the data it's already got on us. The ultimate concern is a panopticon of single federal database with everything that the government knows about every single person in the country.
All right, Billy. I was about to look it up, but I said, Billy will be on this, and there he was.
All right, let's read it.
Panopticon, a circular prison with cells arranged around a central well from which prisoners could at all times be observed. We've been talking about a control state. You might as well say a police state.
There it is. It's a prison.
Who
Okay.
In this article, speaking of panopticon,
Yeah.
who brings that word into this discussion? Who said that?
This was, I don't know if this was, I don't know. Let's go back and see who said it. I think it might just be the author here. Okay, let's go back to the article.
Yes, please.
All right. So the ultimate concern, okay, the person that said this was Cody Vance, Senior Policy Counsel at the American Civil Liberties Union.
Go Cody.
ACLU. The ultimate concern is that a panopticon of a single federal database with everything that the government knows about every single person in the country. What we are seeing is likely the first step in creating that centralized dossier on everyone in the country. Creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a pipe dream, they told the Notes the Times. The Trump administration has already sought access to hundreds of data points on citizens and others through government databases, including their bank account numbers, the amount of their student debt, their medical claims, and any disability status. Washington already has a ton of data on all of us, but it's often separated across systems and agencies. By linking it all together, the government could create much more detailed profiles on all of us.
Wow.
Now, let's go to this video that explains it in depth.
Palantir Technologies has reportedly been tapped by the Trump administration to build a sweeping federal data platform that pulls together sensitive information about U.S. citizens from across government agencies.
The story saying that the company potentially working closer with the US government on sharing data across agencies. So they're talking about the IRS and about other agencies within the government, potentially part of that push.
Behind the scenes, officials have quietly put technological building blocks into place to enable his plan. In particular, they've turned to one company.
Palantir and other AI-focused defense tech firms are among the minority of federal contractors who are thriving under the second Trump administration.
Of a tech realignment that is taking shape. Apple and other mega caps, Google, Meta, Amazon, they're on the outs in terms of political favor, making way for a new class of Washington-friendly tech companies, and they're cashing in on a new era of hard power AI.
The Department of Government Efficiency, until recently under the leadership of Elon Musk, has aggressively targeted what it calls wasteful spending, canceling thousands of federal contracts and triggering significant layoffs. Meanwhile, Palantir's stock has surged since the 2024 election as its entrenchment into government operations deepens.
I don't know that most Americans think they interact with Palantir on a daily basis. I think, I'm going to just give you a rough guess here, all Americans interact with Palantir on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
The company could be nudged into too big to fail status thanks to the White House's focus on next-generation technologies. President Trump has proposed a defense budget for fiscal 2026 exceeding $1 trillion, a 13% increase over the previous year.
We are revitalizing our defense, industrial bases, and reallocating resources toward the most lethal and effective capabilities.
Palantir's fingerprints are all over high-profile defense projects like the Golden Dome missile defense system, the Project Maven AI-powered battlefield intelligence platform, and the revamped IVAS combat goggles project through its partnership with Anduril Industries. The company maintains tight support among today's tech giants, whose attitudes regarding defense contracts have shifted dramatically since last year. There's likely no defense-related tech project Palantir isn't involved in, to some extent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Likely no military defense project that Palantir is not already presently active in.
I'm going to be honest with you. Until we had the article 2 or 3 weeks ago,
that we talked about Palantir.
Went long form on Palantir.
Mm-hmm.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
I was not. I had heard of Palantir before,
yeah,
but had no idea how far-reaching, basically their tentacles are into my government, into my every part of my daily life.
In this article from the Times, that was quoted from the Times that Reason was quoting, says that they have been implementing their connections in the government since the Obama administration.
Sure.
They have been building databases on humans since Obama.
Sure. And Did you hear what they said? Instead of having this personal information on all of you individuals spread across all these different agencies, we're going to become so much more efficient.
Guess who's the first president to call for all agencies to share that information? Ding, ding, ding. President Donald Trump.
You know, I think about my grandma. Why? Now, she's passed on, of course, for several years now. Why do you need to know every single detail about my little grandma who never drove a car?
Right.
She never drove a car.
Right.
But you know, just a simple, God-fearing, sweet woman.
Yep.
But you have to have every piece of information of her life on a server somewhere? I don't like it. I don't like it.
Let's fast forward a little bit in this article. I mean, this video, it's a long video, so I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'm going to just get a little bit more down here towards the end here and pick it up. Here we go. Come on, YouTube. They don't like me playing this video, I think. Wow.
Is shocked by the supercomputer's ethical implications and warns that no man should have.
What is going on? Are we having internet issues?
Buffering.
All over high-profile defense projects like the Golden Dome missile defense system. The project may have an AI-powered battlefield in today's tech giants here isn't involved in.
And it makes my life a lot of fun.
Now worth over $310 billion, Palantir emerged in the aftermath of 9/11. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, and others launched the firm in Palo Alto in 2004, with its mission helping governments find patterns in big data to stop crime and terrorism. Over the last 2 decades, Palantir has been expanding its footprint across.
Say this once again. This is person of interest.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah.
This is what they said in person of interest. As a result of 9/11, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even watch this video this far. As a result of 9/11, they had to build a machine to help them anticipate future things like 9/11.
Exactly.
Dude, that's what he just said. Let's go back.
Helping governments, others. Now worth over $310 billion, Palantir emerged in the aftermath of 9/11. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, and others launched the firm in Palo Alto in 2004, with its mission helping governments find patterns in big data to stop crime and terrorism. Over the last 2 decades, Palantir has been expanding its footprint across intelligence, defense, national security, and law enforcement agencies. Its software has been credited with helping the U.S. track terrorists, uncover criminal networks, and track down Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
Palantir has long enjoyed bipartisan support with little awareness outside of Washington.
Wow.
As its influence expands under the Trump administration, resistance is growing.
I hope we're here to serve the American people. And my version of service is the soldiers are happier, the enemies are scared, and Americans go back to enjoying the fact that we're the only one with a real tech scene in this country, and we're going to win everything.
The data initiative would extend the defense tech giants' reach into the U.S. federal government's civilian data infrastructure, including the IRS and Social Security Administration. According to reports, the Trump administration has tasked Palantir with consolidating data sets into a centralized system for advanced analytics and predictive modeling.
Samaritan.
Powered by Palantir's Gotham software, the platform uses AI to identify anomalies and patterns indicative of illegal activities or security threats.
It's Minority Report.
The name of Palantir's flagship software platform is inspired by New York City's nickname. Washington Irving popularized the term in the early 19th century, but today it's mostly associated with Gotham City from the DC universe. In either case, Gotham is a place where darkness hides in plain sight, and powerful tools are needed to bring order to chaos. Palantir introduced the software in 2008, the same year The Dark Knight hit theaters and became a global cultural phenomenon. The Christopher Nolan film depicts a surveillance system that's strikingly similar to Palantir's Gotham platform. Bruce Wayne, portrayed by Christian Bale, creates a secret wide-scale sonar surveillance system that taps into every cell phone in Gotham City. Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox is shocked by the supercomputer's ethical implications and warns that no man should have this much power. 2008
Wow. And this is, come on, let's just watch a little bit more.
also saw the release of the techno thriller Eagle Eye, which centers around an AI-driven surveillance and threat prediction system.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
The Gotham platform is essentially an early version of the fictional system in the film called Aria, which monitors real-time data from phones, cameras, emails, and government databases to detect threats.
Palantir Gotham provides those who protect our...
That looks like, that looked like the sphere that everybody's scanning their eye in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's listen to this. This is actual a Palantir video.
Our values with the technology to make decisions at speed, and in the process, makes the world a safer place.
In the real world, Palantir's Gotham platform centralizes...
Okay, that's enough.
Good point, Denise Schumann. She says she tends to think that it is akin to Facebook and something else created by DARPA. There's a deep dive.
Yeah.
Here's another deep dive for you. And let me just say, these last 10 minutes have been fire on tonight's show.
Yeah. You need to be sharing this with everybody. That's why I put this on Facebook tonight.
Yes.
Because I knew there's going to be some information in this show tonight that the world needs to know.
Okay, I can't cast this, but I do want to show you real quick.
Okay.
And maybe someone out there can do some homework and do a deep dive. Look at this Palantir symbol.
I got the logo.
You got the logo?
Yeah, just keep talking.
So this symbol, all right, I don't know after you cast this if you can show a NASA symbol, but here's my question, because I don't have the 411 on this. I'm asking out there. You see the circle and some form of arrow here, right?
That's the Palantir.
Right. All right. So that's Palantir. Now look at NASA.
Okay. Let me pull NASA.
Do they not incorporate also? Well, I don't know. Maybe. And if not them.
Keep talking.
If not them, certainly others incorporate the circle and some form of arrow or point. I'm sure there's a much better example than NASA out there, but I've seen this combination of circle, arrow, or circle, some kind of point. And, you know, look, most of you know out there the symbology and even the name comes from a very deep place.
What does that name mean?
They don't just, and even if the name is not the giveaway, the symbology, the logos, not just of these companies, but of many different kinds of companies and corporations, they're leaning on symbology often from an ancient place. So if anybody has knowledge of what this is drawing from or what the deeper meaning of this is, I would love to know, because I always have questions.
Okay, so here we go. In J.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, a Palantir is a powerful, indestructible crystal ball used for communication and to see events across vast distances or in the past.
Wow.
What does Palantir mean? Palantir, one of several indestructible crystal balls from J.R. Tolkien's epic volume. So everybody keeps saying that it's from there. Wow. What is the meaning of the logo? A black orb balanced on two leaf-like supports draws inspiration from the Palantir stones in J.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. They were used to see far-off places, basically in advance, a crystal ball. Y'all, this is getting crazy.
If it's dark and black, that lends more to a scrying. Am I saying that right? Like the dark mirror that you use to scribe or scry on. I don't know. And wow, we could really go down some rabbit trails.
Yeah.
We're getting off into some stuff.
Y'all need to be hitting the like button on this one tonight. This one has been fire. This has been a fire show tonight, and we ain't through yet. So when everything, let me just tell you where the world's going right now. When everything starts going towards the apocalypse,
yeah,
you know, this is this is sort of this is satire, but this is scary because, Veo 3 that Google released that is just taking the world by storm. People are making videos for the first time ever. You can make AI videos and audio and produce clips. Watch this right here. This is incredible.
You saying anybody can make a movie now?
Anybody can make a movie now. This is the apocalypse happens and covered by typical AI influencers.
So yummy.
Here we go. Watch this.
On the outer ring of the city will now be going live to our top influencer opinions. OMG,
None of this is
people,
real.
the world is ending. Are you seeing this? This is actually so exciting.
No, I know it's
I think
chaos,
you should be more specific and
you
say
got real
no
survivor's
part
wife
of
energy.
what you're seeing is real.
Nothing.
No,
Nothing.
not the people, not the
background,
location, not the
nothing.
storyline, nothing.
Nothing. The background, the sound, the people, the crowds.
Billy said, y'all pay attention to this.
There is nothing real here whatsoever. Let's watch it again.
On the outer ring of the city will now be going live to our top influencer opinions. OMG, people, the world is ending. Are you seeing this? This is actually so exciting.
No, I know it's chaos, but you got real survivor's wife energy.
That's cool. I like them feisty.
Like,
Oh my
it would
Lord.
totally be better if we ran it, you know? Men literally destroy everything, and my girls need to stop being so soft with these basic losers. Who even needs men, right? Anything a man builds just gets destroyed by a different man.
Guys, this collapse is literally the perfect dip. I'm buying more right now.
Nukes are Sua's aesthetic today. I made this outfit. Even as the world burns, my struggle for visibility and acceptance continues. This is exactly why representation matters now more than ever.
As I keep saying on the channel, the world collapses when men stop lifting. It's not politics, it's testosterone.
Yes. Balloon time. So yummy. Nuclear boom. So tasty. Thank you. Pop, pop, pop.
Nothing stops the daily grind. Not even a little natural disaster.
Friends, this is the breakthrough moment from chapter 7. When everything falls apart, we rebuild ourselves stronger.
My girl, you wouldn't believe what just happened.
Hi! OMG, I just totally shit my pants after that noise.
Chat, this is literally the most realistic survival game ever, and someone donate so I can buy a boat DLC before I actually drown.
So this company says their device is quote unquote indestructible, supposedly survives anything, including the literal end times.
Hey guys, remember, health is wealth. That's why I take these 7 supplements right before my cheese stuffed hot dogs.
Officials confirm outbound flights are suspended, except for government and priority class departures.
My dog has diplomatic status.
OMG, there's like a nuke or something? Can we get 5 gifted subs for surviving the blast, maybe?
Today I'm showing you how to infiltrate an executive class bunker using only social engineering and a vape.
Your nukes are so manly. You're such a big boy. Go check out the link in bio, my king.
Okay.
Said they'd shut down the grid. Look at you scrambling like rats now. The fiat system is collapsing exactly as we predicted. I just bought a bunker with doggy coin and a handshake. You losers can keep your degrees.
Remember, beautiful. A detonation.
Okay, we have to laugh to keep from crying.
Right.
Y'all, we're in trouble.
This is what we're talking about.
We're in trouble. The world is in trouble. If you ain't got God, if you ain't got a biblical worldview and you can't see what this is heading towards,
Right.
you're doomed without Jesus.
Right. Some people may look at that and say, "Oh, this is so fake. You can tell it's fake." Well, if you could, 6 months from now, you won't.
You won't.
You won't be able to. So
That's the thing. You can now. This is the first release. And it's that good. Y'all, you can tell it's not real now. But remember when the photos first started coming out, you would be able to say, oh, you can tell that's not real.
Right.
But then 6 months later, you couldn't tell they wasn't real.
Right.
You don't know what's real and what's not real in a photo.
it will continue to improve.
You're not going to be able to know. And let's just be real. You think this is what is available? You think we haven't actually seen anchors doing news actors in movies that we had no idea already that was not real?
Yeah.
Come on.
If you want to refer to Mike from around the world one more time.
Mike needs to get a royalty from all your shout outs you're getting to him.
What has he said?
He needs to start advertising on this program.
You've been watching a news anchor for a long, pretty good while now. Nobody knew it wasn't real.
Yeah. Now,
What does that mean?
I've got two more things I want to show you that you cannot leave because these are the game changers. These are the things that what you're seeing right now is actually moving towards. Now, the first one I want to show you is journalist Ross Cohart. You've seen him on News Nation. He's like the face of UFO and everything. Mm-hmm. This video is a little old because I think it actually came out last year because he's talking about 2024. But the key thing in this video is what he is being told, because this guy's interviewing everybody that's a whistleblower in the UFO. But listen what he says about 2027. This is very interesting.
There's certainly something going to happen in 2027, and I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I've also heard 2034, and I've also heard other dates, much later. But
I was wrong. I thought he said 2024. So this is a current, he said 2034. So this is, it didn't make sense to me when I said that. This did just recently come out. Let's replay it.
There's certainly something going to happen in 2027, and I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I've also heard 2034, and I've also heard other dates, much later. But depends who you talk to. Some people say it's a pole reversal. Some people say it's an asteroid hitting the planet. Some people say it's AI reaching quantum, and then all of a sudden we lose the capacity to have control of our own computer systems. I have no idea. What I am aware of is that everybody's telling me we're on borrowed time. And I cannot begin to emphasize how serious a look I get when I say to people who are confiding in me, what's the timescale on this? And they're urging me to be urgent. They're saying to me, people need the right to know this. They have a right to know this. And I'm going, well, what are we talking about? And I feel like shaking these people and saying, for God's sake, just bloody tell me. And they are all constrained by their national security oaths. They want the public to know this.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is very well known on the inside.
Right.
And he is saying, when they look at me, they're saying, please, we can't do it. You have to do it for us. The world has to know that they are not prepared for what is coming.
Right. And yet I still don't trust him.
Of course, I don't trust him. He could be a plant as well.
I will listen to what he has to say with a grain of salt. That no, I'm not trusting him, not trusting Elizondo, not trusting David Grush. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Well, OpenAI, which is sort of become the Google version of AI. Would you not agree? Like when people started having search engines, they had Yahoo, they had Bing and all this, but the word that you would use when you want to search something is go Google it.
Go Google it.
Okay. And it's just like down here in the South, everything's a Coke. Yeah. Okay. You what kind of Coke you want? Well, people up north have no idea what we're talking about. It could be a Mountain Dew, it could be a Dr. Pepper, it doesn't matter.
Meaning which soft drink.
Yeah, that's right. But we don't use soft drink. That's Yankee stuff. But so it's like when you start talking about, I ask AI a question, people will just say, what you need to do is just ask ChatGPT. So it got out front and it became the name. Yes. Would you agree?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's the prominent name. Well, ChatGPT just did something. The actual ChatGPT just did something and announced something this week that is insane. They officially announced the purchase, I should say, of the guy named Ivy. Is it Ivy? I'll show you in just a minute. I think it's Joni Ivy. He was the designer of every iPhone, all the way up until Steve Jobs and a little bit after Steve Jobs died, of the iPad, everything. He's considered to be, technology-wise, the greatest inventor of modern time. Well, he left Apple and formed another company. ChatGPT just bought that company.
Oh.
And you need to know why they spent billions and billions of dollars for Ivy's design for what he is building that is AI related. It's insane. So don't go anywhere. Before then, you got to go to my website. You got to go to LarryRagland.com, LarryRagland.com. And when you get there, you need to click on our social media links. Follow us on all our social media links, whichever one you prefer to use. You can also partner with us. You can watch all of our recent videos. You can get a copy of our book, which, by the way, while I'm scrolling around here, I want to announce that we are right now, a company is rebuilding our website. So very soon we will have a new website launch. We'll have a lot more things involved than what's there now. We're going to build a community there where everybody can go and get to know each other. The Big Picture family can get to know each other. But if you want to help us build that website, because I'm not building it, it's the first time I've ever had anybody help me in tech-wise, because I've always built them myself, you can help partner with us. And we thank you so much to all of our partners. You guys are amazing. We have a television ministry because of you. Yes. That's not free, costs thousands of dollars a month. And we are able to do it because of our partners. You can partner with us at 4 different levels, or you can put any kind of amount you want into that. So we just want to take a moment, just say thank you on that. All right, so let's watch this partnership between Sam Altman and Joni Ivey.
Is it Ivy?
It's Ivy. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's
CJ's
Ivy.
on the case. He's got his name in there for you.
Yeah.
As well.
What did he say?
Same thing.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. What you need to know about this is this company's product is called IO. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Here we go.
I moved to America drawn by the exhilarating optimism of San Francisco and Silicon Valley.
We are sitting at the beginning of what I believe will be the greatest technological revolution of our lifetimes.
I have a growing sense that everything I've learned over the last 30 years has led me to this place and to this moment.
Shirley, Joni Ivey. It's pronounced Ivy.
Morning, John.
Hey, Sam. Good. How you doing? Good.
So what is this announcement we're talking about?
2 years ago, John and I started talking about what the future of AI and new kinds of computers was going to look like. I was running OpenAI. Johnny was running a design firm called LoveFrom that had established itself as really the, I think, densest collection of talent that I've ever heard of in one place and probably has ever existed in the world. And it became very quickly apparent to both of us that we needed a third company.
A year ago, I founded IO with Scott Cannon, Evans Hankey, and Tang Tan, who are the most extraordinary engineers. They have built a team of remarkable subject matter experts that range from hardware and software engineering, physicists, researchers, product manufacturing experts. And so IO is merging with OpenAI.
Formed with the mission of figuring out how to create a family of devices that would let people use AI to create all sorts of wonderful things.
The first one we've been working on, I think, has just completely captured our imagination.
You know, Johnny called one day and said, this is the best work our team has ever done. Yeah. I mean, Johnny did the iPhone. Johnny did the MacBook Pro. I mean, these are like the defining ways people use.
He's calling him Johnny.
That's what I said.
Okay, I thought you were saying Joni.
No, Johnny.
Technology. It's hard to beat those things. Those are really wonderful. Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen. I think it is the coolest for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And
so he's been living with it. He took it home and he's been living with it. Okay, stay with me. I just want you to hear that. He took this device home and he's been living with it.
I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
The products that we're using to deliver and connect us to unimaginable technology, they're decades old.
Yeah.
And so it's just common sense to at least think, surely there's something beyond these legacy products.
We have like magic intelligence in the cloud. If I wanted to ask ChatGPT something right now about something we had talked about earlier, think about what would happen. I would like reach down, I would get out my laptop, I'd open it up, I'd launch a web browser, I'd start typing, and I'd have to like explain that thing. And I would hit enter and I would wait and I would get a response. And that is at the limit of what the current tool of a laptop can do. But I think this technology deserves something much better.
So how did it all begin?
So my son Charlie was the first person in the family to use ChatGPT, and he said, "You've got to meet Sam."
And I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to encourage you to go find the rest of it. But I got one more video to show you that's going to explain it a little bit further. Okay. But to understand this is what is being said. They're not leaking everything out, but they are saying that Ivy has designed some kind of device that you carry with you, is implanted in you, is attached to you, or something. I think obviously the eventual plan is it to be implanted in you.
Exactly.
I don't think they can lead with that because people would push back on that initially. But they made a video that I'm about to show you, entirely made with AI. It's very obvious that it becomes obvious that it's AI made. And I don't think that they're showing you the product at all, but they're trying to give you an example of what this product is.
An idea.
It is a small cube of something that encompasses the entity of AI.
Oh, we're back to entity.
Now, they didn't say that. That's my words. Okay. That you carry it, him, her, whatever you want to call it, with you on your person. And you never have to pull out a phone. You never have to have ear pods. You never have to, somehow it's going to be revealed, supposedly this year and next year, you do not have to manually do anything. Your AI assistant becomes a part of you. And it is called I.O. And this is the video that some people, either their company or somebody trying to talk about what it is, it's very, very obvious that this is AI generated. But just listen to the wording, and this is not going to be what it looks like, but they're trying to tell you what is coming. This is the next phase of AI. AI is software. Yeah. But software and hardware are about to merge.
And before you press play, how many people are not going to pay attention? They are speaking softly, and they're enunciating very well, and
nice environment, sitting there drinking their coffee,
and they know they're laying this out to the degree they can without revealing key details, but they know so many people are just going to let this go right over their head when they're telling you almost everything that they're intending to do. How many mass millions, billions will 6 months, 8 months from now say, what? Yeah. What? Did you know that? I didn't have any idea. Why not? They're telling us right now.
Exactly. Now, I want to stand corrected. I did read the fine print here. This is not created by the company because I was thinking this was really cheaply made. So this guy started this channel called Sirio. And he said, OpenAI introduced I.O. and I generated an entire AI trailer for it. So he put this together to explain what he just watched them explain. Okay. So it's very interesting. It's very low budget looking, but the content of what he's trying to say is he put this into video form to help you understand something about what you just heard. Sorry.
Should disappear. Into the background, always believe that technology should disappear into the background of your life. And so we reimagined what an intelligent device could be. Not louder,
nothing like that.
Not faster, but quieter, more present. This is not a smartphone. It doesn't scroll. It listens. It's made to sit silently, waiting, understanding. Not to interrupt your world, but but to support it. Carved from a single piece of aluminium.
Impossibly thin.
Unapologetically simple. There is no front.
No back. No wrong way to hold it. It does less so you can do more.
A kind of intelligence that doesn't shout.
It glows.
Yeah. We didn't design it to be powerful.
We designed it to feel human.
This, my friend, is I.O.
Okay.
A presence.
Okay.
Not a product.
Go back to the beginning where it says what this guy's name is.
Oh, they pretended it to be him. They changed his name.
Yeah, he's also Johnny Ive.
No, this guy's not real. This guy's mocking that.
But they made him
to pretend to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
but just spelled completely differently, but pronounced.
And the product is not going to look anything like that. It's probably going to be almost this big. But what they were trying to illustrate to you is that this is not a phone. This is not a tablet. This is not a screen. This is something that is going to tie ChatGPT to your life, to your being. And it's going to be promoted as we led the program. If you came in late, you were talking about how we were talking about earlier, how this has sucked the life out of us, how we can't fathom without this, how we can't fathom our life without this. So it's going to be sold as, hey, look, it's time to be authentic again. It's time to talk to people again. It's time to not have to look at a screen again anymore. So we're going to show you how to carry I.O. on you. And now you still are tapped into all this power and this energy, but you don't have to look at a screen anymore. Y'all, this is the beast system, and this is where it's going.
What do you think about the name?
I.O.?
I.O.
It's very interesting to me.
Somebody in chat way back said, that's the name of one of the moons of Jupiter.
Yeah. And somebody also pointed out that one of the words they said was, it's a presence. It's a presence.
I'll bet it is.
Yeah.
Woo! Let's just go ahead and usher in the mark of the beast.
Yeah. So what do y'all think about this?
Oh, boy.
What do y'all think about it? Well, I mean, come on. This has been a show. This has been one of the most. This has been a show, y'all.
Is there a trail we've not gone down tonight?
Yeah. Fernbirds is making a good point. I.O. means on or off. Yeah, that symbol is on or off. You'll see that. So, y'all, but these are you start thinking about how do they charge? You start.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You just think about these things.
Billy says Alexa trained us for this.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. We have literally been trained for this.
Yeah.
We have been programmed for this moment. And did you hear what Johnny Ivy or whatever he said?
And CJ says Ive.
Okay, well, I guess CJ's right. But
does he know all?
I guess he does. He says 30 years of my life have brought me to this place and to this point. I mean, he's basically saying everything I have built is nothing compared to what I'm building right now.
I've come into the kingdom for such a time as this.
I've heard that somewhere. That's a twist. Y'all know that's what he really was saying. It's a mockery. It's a mockery. Wow. So share this. If you watch it on Facebook tonight, it's rare. It's very rare we'll ever be on Facebook on Monday night. This is a YouTube and Rumble and X show. So if you got a chance to watch it on Facebook, and this was a show that was like, wow, who are these people? Who are these crazy couple that's getting on here talking about kingdom of God stuff and crazy stuff around the world? You need to go over to YouTube, the Big Picture, subscribe over there, help us build the Big Picture family over there. So any closing thoughts? Wait a minute, we didn't even think about the chicken tonight. It was so crazy. We forgot all about the chicken.
I'm going to probably have to give the chicken award to about the last 4 or 5 stories.
Yeah,
because
it's like to the whole show. The whole show won it.
The whole last half of the show gets tonight's Golden Chicken Award. Yeah.
Wait a minute. They got let my sound effects go down so they can hear the chicken. Go.
He sounds like he's dying.
My God.
Maybe
that
his
chicken's been smoking them pale mouth. That's an inside Charlie Rock
maybe his
joke.
Sparkly exterior can make up for the lack of for sounding like he's dying. But
yes.
What a night.
What a night.
Poor Uncle Jimmy. I guess we'll catch you next week.
Oh, Uncle Jimmy. Wait a minute. Uncle Jimmy didn't even show up. What happened? I was so crazy. Uncle Jimmy. Why didn't you remind me? Uncle Jimmy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry! The Supernatural AI Update. I got so caught up in this AI thing, I forgot about Uncle Jimmy.
Really did. Wow.
Wow.
What can we say? So, Cousin Cosmo is here to bid you farewell.
See you next time. We always want to remind you, we ain't woke, but we certainly are awake.
Awake.
God bless. See you later.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.